Yeah. I mean, I will say this. I mean, just an unbelievable win. I think this is the first time since we've been together the last 3 years that we came back from a double-digit fourth quarter to win. Obviously, tremendous amount of errors. I take full responsibility for a lot of coaching errors tonight. I told, Coach Niamatalolo that, I got out-coached tonight, and our guys pulled it through. The players won this game. The players went out there and made the plays. The players kept believing. They went out there and gritted it out. And I'm really proud of this football team. We will be better because we went through this tonight. I will be a better football coach for these guys because of what we went through tonight. And, I'm just really excited to get this win, to get all these learns. So we'll open up with any questions.
Can you just kind of talk about the emotions of, down 14 and then you think you're tied and the PAT's no good, and then up 5 and then down 3 and then tied, and then you've got a chance to win it, and then the interception, and then finally you get the last stop. I mean, what was the roller coaster like for you?
Probably the same it was for you, Jamie. It was great to see our guys stay with it through the fourth quarter and keep pressing. I mean, it's something that we talked about, a fourth quarter finish here for a long time, and to find a way to get a win. You can never get too high. You can never get too low. You can never let your mind go to defeat. You can never let your mind go to we just found a way to win. We went 50 yards in 3 plays, and Dean hit the best field goal I've ever seen him hit just to give us an opportunity. So, I don't even know where I was going with that, but it's incredible, the roller coaster of this football game.
And you mentioned Dean. Can you just kind of talk about both Dean and John make have mistakes in this PAT, and then John with the interception in overtime? They both come back to have huge plays. John on the next drive in overtime. Dean, of course, with the field goal. How much obviously do you want to eliminate the mistakes in those situations? But does it speak to kind of the resiliency of those guys to be able to bounce back very quickly from what could be game-changing mistakes?
I think I got the question this week about Dean and some recent struggles, and I said I believe in Dean, and I told him that, right, because it is important. For every reason, we've had some issues and extra points, in the hole or all this stuff, but for him to come back and be able to wipe that in that quick a time is impressive. And I take full responsibility for the interception in overtime. That's me. John went out there and forced one. We didn't want to sit on the ball. We wanted to get closer, but that's absolutely my fault. And John responded and made some gutsy plays.
On the drive to set up Dean's field goal, what was the approach, and how similar was that to what you had drawn up?
So you're looking at 26 seconds, 2 timeouts. All we keep saying is get us to the 35-yard line. We can get the ball from there. You still have an opportunity, all your plays, to work deep over the middle of the field. We're going to take a timeout. We ended up getting a big one to Kyle on the sideline. It's kind of the triple sideline play, kind of the one that beat the Vikings there in the playoffs. And then obviously we get another big chunk play to get us to where we want to be. And I thought it was 7 seconds left. They put 5 out. So, to take a risk there, we had an opportunity, 1 timeout, maybe get a couple yards, but we felt comfortable letting Dean go rip one.
I mean, overall, obviously you won the game, which is what matters. But do you come away feeling more happy with the way you guys pulled it out, or concerned about some of the issues that led to that, just the game?
I think right now in this moment, we're happy we won the game. I mean, we won a football game. Winning is hard. I respect San Jose. They came with a great game plan. They played aggressive. I thought they, had us on our heels, most of the game. But we found a way, and they emptied the chamber on us. I mean, fake punt, onside kick. I mean, all those different type of things were part of this football game. So to weather all those storms and find a way to win, 8 weeks from now, no one will care about the score. They'll just look that we won a game, and we'll be better because of this. I really believe that.
You said you were out-coached tonight. I'm just curious, what circumstances, or what specifically you're going to look at and say I was out-coached?
Well, we lost 2 possessions in the special teams game, and I think we felt like we had a great look for a fake field goal. They did something different. And we felt great about even getting those 9-10 yards. And then at the end of the deal, I mean, obviously the interception in overtime is my fault, right? So we'll never sit on the ball and just do whatever we want. We want to keep advancing it, but we got to be better there, and that's on me.
When you just look at, or actually for John Montier, obviously you just look at the stats and they just kind of pop off the page. We've been talking about John all year, but just what did you see from your quarterback tonight?
John's gutsy. John's tough. John really doesn't get, too high or too low. And I think we dropped some big balls, too, to really break this game open in some capacity. I think Kyle, had a couple plays he'd love to have back that I know he can make, that he will make for this football team in the future. But John does whatever it takes to win. He's going to sacrifice a lot of his body to do that. So obviously win by him just sheer running through two guys to get that 2-point conversion in, and that was a big play.
You talk about the last play there, seeing a guy like Quinn Rth come up, strip Emmett like that, and your guys recover in all the madness, they just score. For him to make a play like that, what does that say about him and that play in general?
It's a combination of celebration and relief. I think it really was in that moment. But Quinn is one of those guys that embodies what it is to be a Coug. He comes to work every day, doesn't always get a high rep volume. He stays ready. He stays working. He's the first one in the building every morning before practice, getting his body ready. Just really proud to see him make a big play like that because he deserves it. He's stuck this thing out for a long time, and I'm proud of him.
As your guys came running off the sideline, obviously jubilation, but then I noticed about a dozen Cougs run straight to Emmett Brown and console him. What does that say about the brotherhood that you've built here, that this team, just the love that this team has for each other, that you could see that after a huge win for them to go do that? Just what does that mean to you?
I think it means a bunch of different things. In today's transfer world and portal world, when you leave because you want an opportunity to play, I think people are generally proud, for that person to go out there and have success. Emmett is a great player. He showed that once again tonight. And I think we build a culture here where people care about each other, right? And it's person over player, and I think maybe that's what you saw right there.
You guys have pulled out two, down to the wire wins, and you have something to prove this season. How scared should people be of the Cougs this year?
Right in this moment, I don't know about being scared about anything right now. I just glad we won a football game. It's tough to win. I'm glad when you get on this short weeks after an emotional win, there's a lot of things that if the score goes the other way, you're pointing to us not being ready or us not being emotionally right or whatever it takes. But our guys found a way to win. And I think that's the thing that we'll take away from this. All those other things, we'll just keep taking these things one at a time.
Obviously, this week it comes down again to kind of that play on the 2-yard line defense, obviously, with their back to the end zone. Maybe, a few more plays defensively you give up than you want to in the game, but what does it kind of tell you towards the end of the game about the mental fortitude of the defense and just your team in general to be able to make the play in that last moment?
I like to think we put them in a ton of different situations so all they need to do is just go do it. And we don't talk about thinking about it. We don't talk about reacting to something. Just now. Live in the now. Focus on the now. Believe in this play, and whatever happened before doesn't matter. So I think it embraces that a little bit, and hopefully they're getting that. And obviously when you go out there and execute that, it brings it to life a little bit more. So proud of the mentality of our team, and it was work tonight. It was work. There was midway through the third quarter, I was looking at some faces. I was like, guys, we got 20 minutes of football to play, and just to go out there and do it. So they did. The players did it tonight.
You talked about how important it is to be a team that can win in multiple different ways. Obviously tonight with the score and double overtime different than all the games previous this season. How much confidence does that kind of instill in you and the team that you won in another way and that you can win in those different ways?
I think when you win, almost like I said, these are the prettiest, ugliest wins you'll ever have in your life. I told those guys that we won a big football game. Not in the way we envisioned it, not in the way we wanted to execute it, but we won. And I think we're going to lean into that. And at some other time in this season, we're going to be down in the fourth quarter. And because we did it tonight, those guys aren't going to waver once again. That's the proof. We've been talking about fourth quarter finishing here since I've been here. Every day of practice, it's red at the last period, and we compete, and we put them in these situations. So to see it finally break through is huge for our team.
Coach, we hear from you a lot, and a lot of the things that you say that puts your team maybe in a different spot than previous years is your guys' ability to finish, or when things get tough or when things don't go your way, like how you respond to that. What specific ways did you see that tonight? I know I saw you consoling Kyle after he, dropped a couple of important ones in the fourth. Just like, where did you see that really come to fruition?
I think one of the big themes this week was just communication. And people think it's just on the field. It's talking to each other. It's breathing life into each other. It's picking each other up when, things don't look great, or you're not having a good day, or you're not playing as much as you think you should be. Or there's all kind of things that happen that we need to communicate and be here for each other. And that's player to player, but it's also coach to player, right? And I think it's my number one job to prepare the team, to understand the team, to motivate the team. And I just think that's where that really comes from for me.
Last one, is it hard when you get off the field and you come into this room to just gather all your thoughts, and just after, now you're realizing you're 4-0 and you're sitting here looking at the stat sheet, just is it kind of like an interesting...
I took a couple minutes in the back room here. Like, if I'm being honest, I had to calm down a little bit. I had to get my thoughts together. I mean, this was just a football game that I don't know if, Cougs will have seen in a while, in a long time, but to win it, I think, is everything. So proud of this football team.